Okay, so right off the bat, I think something must be wrong with my copy of the Beast of the Mesozoic YUTYRANNUS, because I know for a fact that tyrannosaurs only had 2 fingers, and this little alpine allosaur wannabe has the audacity to have 3. Seriously, however, I've always loved dinosaurs, and when I learned of YUTYRANNUS sometime in 2015, it was a game changer. Before YUTYRANNUS, nobody would ever listen to me talk about feathered dinosaurs because, yeah, they might have feathers, but it's only the really small ones. Now, still, nobody listens to me, but I can sleep well at night knowing that a species in the same family as the most famous dinosaur ever was fully decked out in head-to-toe plumage. And Beasts of the Mesozoic has been a favorite action figure line for me because of the painstaking detail and accuracy to real paleontological information. Included in Wave 1 of the Tyrannosaur series, the Ute certainly does not disappoint. This toy is really amazing, boasting so many carefully sculpted details and lots of realistic and vibrant paintwork. Taking an up-close look at his snout, you can really appreciate all those amazing fine little scales that seamlessly transition through different shapes and sizes. Unlike most of my other Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, Ute is obviously feathered, so that means the sculpting covering the body is fairly different. Instead of the usual scale variation, there's many lines that wonderfully give the impression of thick, fur-like fluffy feathers. If dinosaurs were real, I'd gladly die being mauled by YUTYRANNUS after petting it. Unfortunately, of course, dinosaurs were invented by museums to sell more tickets, so that could never happen. The paint is so gorgeous. Basing his coloration after a stellar sea eagle was a great choice. Much like the sculpt work, there's subtle variation in the shades of colors used that bring so much depth and life to this toy. You'd be surprised because accessory-wise, he comes with more feet than you could spit at. I'm not sure what that expression means. I'm not going to say it again. He comes with enough feet to give Quentin Tarantino a heart attack, and every single one of them can be placed on these also included separate articulated legs. You'll want to find your oldest, most tangled up hair dryer in order to get those feet warm enough to pop on, because they're very tight. To solve the inherent problem of having a big, heavy theropod dinosaur toy stand on 2 legs and balance, all the larger tyrannosaurs in this series come with a set of articulated legs and a set of static standing legs. I really wish that there was a better solution to this problem, as pulling the legs off is sort of a scary experience. Using a hairdryer to warm them up certainly helps, but I also don't want to warp the plastic at all from repeatedly doing this. After a couple times of doing it, this leg even feels a bit loose. I also generally don't enjoy having this many accessories to have to keep up with a figure. You may think that I'm ridiculous to want the figure to come with less, but I imagine that if there was no base, extra legs, or feet, this toy probably would have cost $20 to $25 less, and that is what I would have personally preferred. Mattel's dinosaurs seem to have no problem standing with sturdy, fully articulated legs. But Mattel's dinosaurs also look a lot worse. I don't think there's a clear right or wrong here. Neither of these solutions for standless balance seem to work well. And even though the purpose of the static legs is so that there doesn't have to be a base, there is also a base included. It has a metal rod that can plug into either of the static legs. It's really secure once you get it on there, and this is probably the best solution for long-term display. It's painted very well, and it's just even more of a testament to how much effort goes into these. This one section is removable. I assume it's so you could connect the base with another one sold separately. I'm not quite sure. Let me know in the comments. My go-to for displaying him on my shelf is just the 2 static legs, because with them he can stand fine on his own. However, you can still get some pretty cool poses using the articulated legs or a combination of both. Articulation is fairly standard for the line. Obviously, there's lots more tail articulation due to it being lots longer, but there's a lot less in terms of neck. There's a ball joint at the base of the neck that gives decent movement all around, but the second joint up at the head gives very little side to side and bump kiss up and the jaw opens fine and not comically wide like every Mattel figure. The tongue is technically articulated, but it feels so stiff and it's so small that I'm afraid to get in there with tweezers and knock it loose. Hence why it's stuck at a weird angle. Side note, the inside of the jaw is also painted very well, with individual teeth and a glossy coat for the gums. It's bog standard for the line, but still worth drawing attention to. Now, another serious problem is that while handling and posing the figure, there is a constant flurry of white flakes. And sadly, it's not snow, or even dandruff, ew. It's the paint flaking off. So far, my Ute has seemed more resistant to simple wear and tear scratches than my trike has been, but every time I pick him up, he leaves little flakes all over my desk. Managing your scalp can be difficult, and this is the point that I wish I could introduce Keeps as my sponsor for the episode, but alas, I just have to warn you that the paint on this guy might be a concern long term. He does look wonderful next to the other beasts of the Mesozoic figures, if not like he's on the wrong continent. Packy, Trike, and Windy are all US regulars, and then you've got YUTYRANNUS from China. I like Ute a lot. He's a very nice toy. It's both properly fearsome and cute looking at the same time, and beautifully accurate. Looks-wise, he's all I want out of a YUTYRANNUS figure, and I'm probably never getting another one because I have him now and he looks that good. But, while he certainly looks like the most amazing Lamborghini you've ever seen, he handles more like an old jalopy. There's a lot of weird extra baggage and parts, and more instructions about how to properly handle him than you get with a Gremlin. If you're thinking about buying something Beast of the Mesozoic, and you like the look of this guy, you should totally go for it. But keep in mind that the Ceratopsian series are definitely much more accessible and fun to handle, and are probably a better jumping off point. The Ute and the Pachyrhinosaurus both cost the same amount. And while both are great, I think the Pachy is more bang for your buck. Let me know what you think below. I'm genuinely interested in hearing which one people think is a better value. Other than that, that's all for today. Keep it greasy, y'all.